let's talk a little bit about what's managing people is, just to give a rounded idea. So the best thing is to take you to a couple of resources to see what they say, right? Remember, managing people is the job of managers. So the managers, what they do is they are managing the employees who are working for the organization. So then you will find sometimes managers find some people are easy to manage, some people are difficult to manage, some people are moody, some people are not turning up, some people are contributing, some people coming up with ideas. So these are all different personalities. So managers need to understand different personalities of employees first. Managers also need to know the objectives of the company, right? And then the importance is the people should feel they are going to work, and in that place, some people might think, some employees might think, I need money. Some of them might think, I need promotion, quicker the better. Some might think, I need to learn on the job. Some might think, I have to update my technical skills and knowledge, right? So different individuals have different expectations, right? But they all are working on the same platform. So, and they have to communicate with each other. They have to share information. They have to contribute to the growth of the company, right? So that's why it is very sensitive area, right? So let's jump on to a couple of websites to see what's happening. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So then we will find here, this is one of the fantastic resource I found. This is business management, 75 years of sound business advice, right? It says people management, right? And it goes number of pages. You can read it, okay? And it also says 8 ways your culture is draining the will of the staff. How to handle, how to read minds of employees. So there are management styles, right? Some managers like to be at the top and looking, at the top of the hierarchy. Some managers work with employees, mentoring, coaching, and understanding. So, guiding by the side. Okay, so those are different management styles. Some managers do not want to talk with employees, but the employees' concerns are taken seriously and then address those things in quiet, right? So there are different management styles. So these ones, okay, are quite complex. When you read only, you will get ideas. This other website is 6 tips, it says, for managing people who are hard to manage. Yeah, this is thinking. Some managers might think, this is a hard one, that is an easy one. This is hard for the reason that asks tough questions, or maybe hard to manage because that person comes later to work, or maybe hard to manage because that person does not meet the deadlines. Hard is for different reasons. Maybe hard for, maybe that person is just disturbing others. So read it and find out what's happening. It says here, the 6 methods. It says how to deal with conflict, right? Then how to see things through the eyes of others. Get help. This is important. I thought of bringing this here. Set clear, measurable job objectives. Measurable. Measurable is measuring. How do they measure people performance? Can you get a tape and put around the waist and measure? Then yes, you get the waist measurement in inches or centimeters. But job objectives to measure, you really need to have defined goals. We call it key performance indicators. This has to be declared upfront, right? You're telling somebody, oh, that person is sweet, she looks pretty, and I should be offering her a salary advancement or a promotion for the reason she's pretty. Does it make sense? It doesn't. So this is important. Clear, measurable objectives. And then how do they measure? How do they find what percentage increase has there after 3 months, after 6 months, and after 1 year? You see, it's a tough thing, tough area, right? One of your assessments are covering this area. Then think in terms of assets and liabilities. Asset, some employees, again, it based on company culture. Some companies believe quiet people are an asset, right? Some companies think the people who ask good questions are assets because they are helping company to compete with competitors and to develop the business for sustainability. Okay, so again, company culture is totally different. Different companies have different cultures. Okay, remember that. So it's up to you to read it, right? So this is just to give you an idea of there are fantastic web resources to expand your knowledge in management. Okay, so it's up to you to pull out which source you want to use and at what time. Hi everyone, this subject is people management. 1609 is the code, right? So to start on online learning, some of you might find we need more guidance. We need a clear directions, right? We need help. Well, everything is structured for you. I have spent number of days to figure out the best method, right? So my name is Ramya. So I'll be taking this journey with you for the next 10 weeks. To tell you the whole online learning aspect, the best advice is pay attention to information you get. What are the methods? Initially, email, then SMS, then learning management system, then communication, further communication like virtual classes, WisIQ classes, Zoom meetings, Skype meetings, and sometimes telephone conversations, right? Those are the major areas. So now you are living in the 21st century. So when it comes to 21st century, you need to have the knowledge of developing technologies, because whatever the company you are going to work, you will have to tackle with the available technology. And you can't say, I don't have experience with this, using these technologies, I never use it. But maybe your CV, you have indicated that. So therefore, your manager could pull out your CV and say, no, in your CV, you said so. So now, if you said in your CV, and if you can't do that, that is a crime, because tell the truth in your CV, right? So in this subject, in my delivery method is, I'm sending you a detailed welcome email. And in my welcome email, I have divided your learning journey into different stages, right? So I'm going to quickly share the screen with you to show that welcome emails certain portions. So in this welcome email, I would be highlighting the 4 areas. As the startup area is the welcome email, read it number of times, right? That's the first stage. Stage 2 is, I have created a forum for you. The forum I'm going to show you right now. And this is the forum. That's where your welcome email is. So when you click on this welcome email, you will find all elements there, okay? And all the pictures. And you could see stage 2 is this step-by-step guide. So step-by-step guide, you need to click this link. So that is going to another forum thread, which has, which has details on what you're supposed to do. Now, I'm going back to my first page. That is here, the welcome email. This is in my forum, right? So stage 2, I did talk. Stage 3 is, I'm going to create forum threads for each assessment, giving clear guideline of what you're supposed to do at Australian Qualification Frameworks Level 5. Right? Stage 4 is, we need to respond to my weekly forum posts. and just let me know whether you are there and what's happening with your assignment, what's happening with your reading, what are the questions you have, right? So stage 1 is starting from watching 2 little video clips about managing performance and managing people. I've selected this managing people, Steve Jobs, somebody that I admire dearly, right? So Steve Jobs is quite a touchy character, and he has developed a massive business before his death. Now, then I'm talking about what this subject is, right? And the next one, your role. What do you supposed to do, right? You're working for a company called Try Fitness, and you're helping the management to perform certain tasks. Remember, you need to figure out the size of the company. Size should not be undermined. Then in my welcome email, I had given you assessment details in brief. The next one is study plan and assessment deadlines, right? I'm asking you to follow my study plan because it is structured, and in fact, we need to groom ourselves to stick to a timetable, right? Online learning is flexible in the sense you can decide what time you want to start studying during the day. Is it morning? Is it lunchtime? Is it evening? Or is it midnight, right? So that's the flexibility. But other than that, there is no flexibility in postponing the assessment deadline, because your assessment deadline is stated here because I'm accountable for the management to mark and give the results before starting the next semester. So therefore, please adhere to these deadlines. Then I have said clearly, if you need an extension for an extenuating reason, right, then you send an email to me asking for a little extension, right? If you need an extension for more than 4 weeks, there is an online application form to be filled. Okay, so that's that. Now, I had given you suggested approach, marking and grading. Keep in mind, yesterday night I checked, I've got more than 100 students in my schedule. So although I'm making every effort to mark your assessments within 14 days, but it could be extended because sometimes there's quite a lot to be read and give a constructive feedback. So go through my email, the welcome email, and please, when you do so, write a note in your diary, not just reading. I want you to read critically, and that's important. I had given instructions on how to use our learning management system, right? And I also gave you special prescription. Remember, you need to read by going through the stages from, one by one, and please perform the activities. Those are enhancing your understanding, right? Then you can look at the assessments, but you are not expected to work. Just look, because this is sequential learning process, right? So it will be starting from session 1 and it will be continued. So look at the assessment, but don't work. Go back and read. Keep connections. Assessment asking this is where the reading is. Okay? Right, and these ones I did say earlier, forum posts are important, and then my contact details are given, okay? Right, if you look at another forum post here, you could see that this is one of the batches that I delivered previously. The students are communicating with me from the welcome email. If you look at that, please send a note to say you have read and understood the content in this welcome email, right? That is important. The first point of contact, and you could see this, the messages exchange between myself and students, okay? So that is the details of welcome email in brief, okay? So now I'm going to stop this sharing. And then going back to what do you supposed to do, right? So the most important, you got to remember that when you read, it's not leisure reading, right? Not under a tree or by the side of the beach. You're paying attention to this important information. And sometimes some of my things, There's so much information, it's overwhelming, or I'm inundated with information. Well, you were not given information that much. If you search certain phrase on Google, you will get 100,000 websites, because we are living in the information age, right? What you were given is some decimal points. I should be very honest with you. So therefore, the information you get is not too much, okay, too little, right? It's just the basic given. So on that basic, you develop the rest of the knowledge you require. So that's why in the information age, you should have intelligence to pick up the right information at the right time, right place. And that's the key. Okay. So as I'm going to talk about management styles later. So this subject is very interesting. So don't undervalue your subject, the expectations. Also keep in mind, Australian qualification level 5, expectations are quite high, right? So you need the main ingredients. The main ingredients that you need are critical reading, critical thinking, critical writing, right? To get you to the critical writing, we have a beautiful document called Student Study Skills Handout. It says how to write assignments, how to reference what you read. Remember, information age, you need to refer. You need to read information and say where you got that information. That's how you build your argument. This is because you are not the number one, the top class people manager in this world, right? So therefore, you have to look what other experts say. So once you get other experts' sayings by rephrasing or paraphrasing, right? And then when you compare whether they are telling the same or do they have different opinion for a given concept, you say that, okay? Finally, you come up with your opinion. Your experience comes thereafter. Can you see now? So it's not that this subject is assuming that you are an expert and write an essay about these factors by considering you are an expert. That's not what assessments are. Assessments are highlighting these areas. Just a workplace simulation is set. That is the case study, the Tri-Fitness company, right? Just assume you are there. But remember that you need to read and bring your argument with valid, credible resources, not blogs, not Wikipedia. Okay? And never think you're getting too much information, it is too little, right? So it says research, right? Assessment number 3 clearly says research. So don't say, in my research I found la 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 la, right? If you have done research, within brackets say, using your author's surname and the date of publication, right? Say, what research have you done? What concept? What area? Did you read? Let's assume managing performance, right? How many papers you read? Research. How many sources you read? Is it 3, 4, or 5? And in addition to that, what you read? And then, what is your opinion? That's how you say. Never write, I found in my research that this. Research says this, but there is no evidence in the form of in-text referencing to prove that you have done the research. A lot of students are making that mistake. Okay, so remember that in my assessment threads, forum posts, I give you instructions for each assessment, right? So please read, acknowledge, and follow the instructions, because when I mark, I write down your assessment submitted on this date is compared against instructions given through this forum link and AQF level 5 to assess your competency. That's how I start. Even if you don't follow that, I'll ask you to resubmit by referring to the forum post. So therefore, remember, just follow the follow the instructions. That's easy. Okay. Some areas I have created templates for you. There is a reason for that, because the email template given to you has issues, because when you write in that email template, and if you submit that to, when you submit it in the print version, it does not go through Turnitin.com website to scan and to tell how much you have duplicated, right? There is an issue. This is because whatever you write in that PDF format of the template is not saving as an editable text. It is saving as an image. So images, the Turnitin.com cannot scan images. Then you might find, what is this at the Turnitin.com? Okay, that's a website. That's one website. There are lots of websites in the world the academic institutions are using to scan student assessments to find out whether this is student's authentic writing or whether the student has copied from different websites or sources, right? Because this Australian qualification frameworks, any level, is not measuring your copy and paste skills, right? It is measuring your cognitive ability. Cognitive meaning brain processing ability to analyze information, to read information, and to create certain things, right? To evaluate and to make a judgment. Those are the things you need to do. Hi everyone. This subject is management of people, or we call it people management. So managing role in general got planning, leading, controlling. All events are there. Now, when you're managing people at work, you need to find out what methods are the company using. So, and how do they reward people, those who are working? It all comes back to what are the goals of the company. We call it company culture. Company culture. Culture is also important. Goals are also important, right? Let's get Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte & Touche, right? These are leading companies in the world, right? So what they value from their employees is the people who come up with great ideas and then, going through that, giving the result of that great idea, meaning the idea is converting into the result. That means giving advantage for the company to increase their profit. So it could be, the business could be two sides, the product, the service, right? Sometimes some people have the ability to come up with great ideas to build new products. Sometimes great ideas to come up with new services. Then we have layers of managers, the top, the middle, the frontline managers, right? So then underneath that, levels of employees, the seniors and the juniors, right? So then you need to figure out in this subject on what grounds this company is promoting its people, how to manage. Promoting people is part of management, right? So management, yes, we know day-to-day tasks, but when you manage the day-to-day task, the other side is some people wanted to have promotions. Some people wanted to learn more, develop more, right? So it could be vertically and horizontally, right? So therefore, the managers need to understand what this person needs and then scaffold that person to reach the target. That's the genuine management. That being said, sometimes some managers may find mediocre performance is great because that is what the company would be benefited the most. So, compared to the top companies I said. So therefore, you are working in this subject by using a business called TriFitness. So you don't know what kind of culture TriFitness is having. So it's up to you to decide. Whatever you decide, I have no problem. But when you bring your arguments in your writing, you show that you have read information and then you quote that, could not quote, bringing information to make your case. Okay?